Okay, Martin here today. Dumb. Hey everyone, Martin here. I just got this text message picture thing from one of my grand sponsees, and it says, "Have you ever heard a crackhead say, 'I have no money, I'm not gonna smoke today'?" And it says, "No, they always find a way. Are you gonna let a crackhead out hustle you today?" Truth, right? Facts right there, 100%. I remember in active addiction, it didn't matter how much money I had that day, I was getting high, no matter what, right? Like, if there was one thing I could do, or one thing we all were able to do, was find a way to get loaded. And what that meant, beg, borrow, steal, barter, whatever, it happened. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that I talk about all the time with the guys in the home. Everybody hears, I always tell them, you guys are all prison fools and hardcore gang members and criminals, and you get to my house and all of a sudden you guys get soft, right? Like, for real, like soft, like crying about everything, can't handle anything, right? Like, and that right there just brought back to reality the softness that a lot of us have that aren't living in sober living houses, or right, like, there's things that we say we can't do because we don't have something, but that never stopped me before, and all of a sudden now I want to be stopped, right? And why do I talk about that? Because today was a horrible, today was the worst day I've had since I've started this whole thing. Not that it was a bad day, I just made bad choices, right? Willfully. There was nothing that really prevented me from doing anything that I needed to do other than me. You know what I mean? Last night, my wife bought some pizza for some people, and I enjoyed the rest of it today. And didn't get my workouts in like I should have, right? Because I had other things that I felt were more important. And it just kept putting it off, right? And so yesterday, Wes Watson did a video on Instagram talking about habits, and he said, why talk about vision or goals, or what's it called when, like, in the Secret they say visualize, right? Why visualize what you're gonna do or who you're gonna be if you can't even do the daily habits, right? Because the daily habits are what make and break everything. If you can't get the things done every day that you need to get done, no matter what your goals are, or what you're visualizing, or what your vision is, it's never going to happen. And that's the truth, right? And that's the space where softness appears, right? Like, at least in my world, or where I talk about, like, don't negotiate with the weakness, right? I always talk about, like, negotiating with the bitch voice that says, hey, hit your snooze button one more time, or hey, you don't have to work out, it's 106 in the garage, or 106 outside, so it's probably 110 in the garage, right? Hey, there's nobody here today, so you don't have to really do the workout that you're supposed to, right? Like, all these things, all the ways that I allow myself out of things that I need to be doing every day. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this pizza's really expensive pizza. You don't want to give it away. You want to freeze it or eat it all. And then, like, oh, let's just eat it all today. It's good. You know what I mean? Like, 100% disappointed in self. You know what I mean? And that's what he always talks about too, right? The question he always says, like, you have no discipline. That's your problem, right? You have no discipline. And like, one of the first videos I did is discipline equals freedom, and that used to be, like, written on my mirror every day, so I would look at it, right? Like, discipline equals freedom. The freedom that I want is dependent upon, or the amount of freedom that I want is dependent upon the amount of discipline that I have to do the things that I need to do to get me where I want to go, right? If I have no discipline, I'll never have the body I want, right? I'll never have the jobs that I want or make the money that I want. I'll never have the health that I want. I'll never get to the places that I want, right? Like, there's so much that gets prevented when I don't participate in the daily habits that I had. And a couple days ago, I talked about, like, needing to revisit my non-negotiables. things changed in my life, and so I made some of the non-negotiables a little more difficult, right? Originally it was get up every day at 4:30. Well, I had a guy I had to pick up at 2:30 every day, so I started getting up at 2:30. And then found myself crashing because I wanted to continue even after he wasn't in my home anymore. Crashing literally to the point of where I couldn't even record my video. I did my video, but I wasn't successful recording it very well the day Dion's wedding happened, because I was so exhausted from getting up at 2:30 in the morning every day that my body just couldn't function. And now I continue to try to do that for a few more days. Didn't work as well as I would like. Moved the time again, right? Changed the time again to fit the schedule that I operate in today. And getting out of bed isn't as easy as it used to be. And so today I posted, no matter what, you got to get out of bed on time, right? And then the little tagline I put, don't hit the snooze, right? And that's the truth. I don't hit the snooze. What I do is I lay in bed. The same thing I was doing when I first started this, right? Laying in bed or sitting up, hating life, struggling with the desire to want to get out and do the things that I need to do again. And that can't be my reality. And so earlier today, I was taking a shower after my half workout, and realizing there are some things that need to change for me to continue doing what I'm doing, right? Still in I would like to say we're still in a calibration phase, right? Finding out what works with the schedule that I live in, with all the jobs that I have, even as I continue to add more stuff to the plate. Not for a lack of time, but just for other goals that I'm trying to attain that I want to hit, right? And so I come up with more ideas on how to make those things happen. And so, like, now I'm selling Amazon pallets, right? Hustling the stuff on the pallets to make more money for my family. And so I'm hustling getting pallets. I'm hustling getting the stuff out, talking to people, meeting them, slinging the stuff, right? Doing what I do. And on top of all the other jobs that I have. But in that, this is where discipline becomes more important and more vital, right? And so the first part of the discipline that I have to get under control is getting out of bed on time. And that's why I posted that, right? Because I like a lot of these things I don't do necessarily to help other people. I do these things for me. Everything that I'm saying, I say to me, right? I watch my own videos. I listen to myself. I think through the same things that I'm saying here, because sometimes the only person I'm going to listen to is myself, right? And so I think I have a lot of great knowledge, and I like to listen to when I talk. So it's no issue listening to me, And so the first part of the habit thing that Wes Watson's talking about for me, as I think through what he says, is getting out of bed on time. So no more hitting the snooze button, no more setting extra alarms, right? No more the time that I say I'm getting up, right? And so my wife asked me just a few minutes ago, what time are you getting up for tomorrow? I said 4:30. That's what I originally had written on my non-negotiables, is 4:30. Now, when I think about it, and what I'd really like to do is get back to working out prior to taking the guys to work, then I probably need to start getting up earlier than that again. But it's the weekend. It's gonna be Saturday. Let's just go 4:30 tomorrow, and start getting back on track, right? Because I'll tell you, like, it's when you create habits that you do on a regular basis, if you feel like crap when you don't get them done. And for me, I don't want that to be a habit where all of a sudden now it's okay not to get stuff done. No, right? We're still on this mission to get to 10% body fat, to become the man that I needed in my own life, right? Because I believe that there's somebody else who needs him too. So it begins with getting out of bed on time. And from there, I'll get my coffee in, I'll get my workout in, I'll get all the rest of my stuff done on a daily basis, because that's where it starts. One thing I heard a long time ago is if you win the morning, you win the rest of the day, right? Well, winning the morning starts with getting out of bed. It does. If you hit the snooze, you've already lost the morning because you're delayed. You've already negotiated with the weakness. Now the weakness has the upper hand to keep you there, and that's not okay. Beat the weakness, beat the flesh by getting out of bed when you're supposed to. right? And that's kind of like the same thing I tell people all the time. Like when I'm asking, what can you do? I don't want to hear from people what they think I want to hear. What I want to hear is, what can you do, right? And because a lot of it is, I'm going to gauge you and your value in my life by you following through with what you say. That's just the truth, right? And I tell people, when they give me some like weird, extravagant, weird answers, I know that's not them. Like, oh, I could do that. I could work out every day and do it. No, you can't. Sorry. I already know people like you. What I want to know is, what can you do? Because that's where it begins, right? And so tomorrow it begins with getting my butt out of bed at 4:30 in the morning. I know I can do that. That's easy, right? We've done this before. Now it's the other things that follow that matter also, but we'll get to those tomorrow in the next few days. But it begins with getting out of bed on time and winning the morning, dominating the morning, bending the morning over and making it bow to me. Well, I have to get out of bed on time in order to do that. So dominate the morning, do what you got to do. If you don't take care of your daily habits, any goals or visions or any other things that you set before you, they're not going to happen. Because if you don't take care of your daily tasks, the bigger things never come into play. So the one thing I just want to let everybody know, the same thing that's always told to me, is that God loves you and so do I. I hope you have a great day and God bless you.